This is just a quick disclaimer that throughout the course of the next 15 minutes, because I just recorded the audio separately, talked to myself while looking at some footage, I realised that there was a lot of it that I could add into or use a lot of footage that I've had shot since like January from the Europeans and before to go over this video. So if you're wondering why there's a lot of out of context shots, well, I like just recording things when I'm fucking going around places and maybe seeing something interesting. Hello. The short answer to all of this is I am going back to work.
Movie because I don't like New York. This is too much money. Every day pay, shooting the car, house, suspects my life, suspects. It's a way of making people remember you forever. It's just everybody writes their name on the wall. You know what I mean? Like writing your name on the desk at attention.
And this is more of a concept for me of just something that I've wanted to post for quite a while, and I feel that audio is the best way for me to be able to convey like any sort of excitement, despite the fact that at 45 seconds into this I sound like I am at a funeral. That will change because I've just pressed record. But the most important thing is that through the internet and through text, things can be misinterpreted. And look, I have video and photographic evidence to show you how serious I am about this. So you should take me instantly more serious than if I just put up a text status. So there's that as well. Anyway, through the fact that I am having to go back to work, not having to, I want to go back to work. I'm going to use it to separate my days off training and rest properly, but create stuff and make paper on those days so that I can afford to continue going to these jiu-jitsu competitions and creating pieces like this. So it is an evolutionary cycle that has to happen, and hopefully also available for privates. I'd say that now. Small group training. If you have no experience in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you'd like an introduction to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu before starting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 100% get in touch. We can sort something out with that. We'll cater to small groups of lads who want to just do it with their friends outside of the scenario of going into a gym. Let's get it set up. Let's do it. No problem. Get in touch. Anyway, this was a competition in Amsterdam that myself and a teammate, Callum McGeaney, went to. This was probably the biggest competition for me so far, just from the perspective that a week or two previously I had lost at the European Championships. We both had lost at the European Championships. Realised maybe that the level wasn't as far away from us as we had thought based until previously. You need to have an experience, win or lose, to realise if you're as close to something. Had a really good match, I felt, against European champion in January, and just wanted to keep competing because I felt that if that's how good I felt against someone that good, I was like, right, well then let's see what happens when I come up against people that aren't as good as that, and that the training that I had done up until that point would be beneficial. So Callum actually recorded before his matches, and it's of a young brown belt called Sam McNally. Sam would be one of Ireland's most known jiu-jitsu competitors, has a very successful company called Exec BJJ, and we'll use this as a plug to be able to say, if you are working in a corporation of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or you work somewhere where they offer like wellness or athletic training, you should contact or ask your HR department to contact Exec BJJ, because you would get top class jiu-jitsu instruction. And if you're in the Northeast, you should especially contact Exec BJJ, because I understand Samuel would like to expand his horizons on the business world. So okay, so this is the first match. Quite nervous. Head moving in a weird way. Ready to go. This guy was from a Middle Eastern country, I think the UAE, I'm not too sure, but there was a lot of his team there, and it was like they were a royal team. So I was like, in my head I was like, fuck, this guy's probably really good, like if he's on this state sponsored team and he's been flown over to the Netherlands to compete. So he pulled guard straight away, and I went onto my side. Been very conscious about giving up easy points here, so you see me like driving my shin and into the chest as I'm trying to get my left knee behind. I'm really trying to get my left shin behind his knee, but his grip was there for a long time. I was able to move myself around. You see the knee pop now, and that means I get control of the back of the leg. I feed my right leg in as a twister hook to the back of the calf, and I'm ready to pin his arm with the same leg when he pulls it up. At this stage, I already have the choke, and that went about as well as expected. And when that happens, you feel really good in your first match. You were able to play your A game quicker. You got to your position quicker, and you just took advantage of it. That can happen to anybody on any day at any time, and you have to really just be able to replicate that over 3 or 4 or 5 matches to get a gold medal if you want to feel good about a competition. I knew that my next match was the one that I wanted to have most, because this is against the guy that bet me at the European Championships like 10 days or 2 or 3 weeks beforehand. So I was happy for the opportunity to get another match against him as quick after the first one, because I genuinely believe that competition is the quickest way to improve in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There is it just helps me. It helps me a lot, and it makes me realise where I need to get better. And I think it's good to get over the anxieties and the fears of doing something that maybe scares you sometimes, and to test yourself. So he's here, isolated the arm. I get my foot in his lapel to be able to push him off the mount. He switches to the arm bar. I go to the omoplata position and roll straight out of the omoplata off the mat. Nice spatial awareness, not trying to be a scumbag, flying myself off the mat, trying to escape within the confines of my area. Thinking this is good crack. Let's go, Eduardo. Tie these trousers, tie this gi. Back to work. Back in the guard now. Stop the first guard attempt, guard pass attempt. He falls back on a foot, looking for a finish here. I thought the match was over. I thought the match was over, and he seen me look away, and he ran for the foot. Fair play to him, but I was happy to get that match against him again, like so quick. So that put me out of the competition in the semi-finals. The way this competition works is you have to compete for your bronze medal match. Eduardo's taking his sweet time getting this belt tie on. This is maybe a little bit more tired than I thought. Both of us were. Should have pushed a wee bit harder at certain aspects, but fair play to him. He's a really good competitor. He's medalled at more good competitions this year. Bronze medal match was against a guy from France. Had seen his other match. Thought, this will be a good match. I was confident based off the performance with Eduardo and the first one that I was going to do well. Come out thinking, okay, I'm going to start standing with this guy. Lovely. Maybe I'll go for my Tomanagi. Brilliant. Start walking backwards. Oh, he goes for one instead. Pops straight up into the armbar. And that's all she wrote. Andrew McGahan taps way quicker than he got a sub in the first match. And that shows my point that, yes, it can go one way for you in the first match, or it can go the other way for you in the second match. You have to be switched on, and you have to be focused, and you have to know what game you're going out to do straight away, first and foremost, and it has to be that. And I've tried to work a little bit on the stand-up since then, hoping for a few more matches where we get a bit of a stand-up action going on at Purple Belt this year. I don't know if this is this footage here is from Callum's third medal match, I think. Fought a guy from the same team that my first opponent was from, and here he is, thrown on a wee triangle. The man was born in this triangle position. He lives in it. Illuminati confirmed. Look into it. Look into it. What about Tower 7? What about JFK? Too many unexplained mysteries. We tap there from your man. I seen it. He's about to tap now again in 1 second, and Callum wins. Callum McGeaney, very good blue belt, trains with us, Team Towers. He's over in New York training for the summer and working. Big Os. Actually, here's a very funny clip here with a counterfeit suit. I see you. I see you. Thought he was hilarious walking around in it. Few pictures there. Photographer Sam McNally, who is also competing there, stayed on for the no-gi. He was competing at that too. Took a few snaps. This was a match against a really good Netherlands grappler called Daniel. Really nice guy. He's sound. He's living over in Brazil at the moment, training. And he taught me, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but he taught me a really good lesson about competition. So the story was that Daniel had been told about my work interviewing with loads of MMA fighters over the years by an Irish guy who was training with him in the Netherlands and was there like on Erasmus or something like that. And they were saying like, oh, he's really good, like he competes all the time, and people just assume that because you compete all the time you must be really good. No, that's not the case, at least not for me. Trained with and interviewed all of the best UFC fighters in the world, and no, what are you on about? He's like, yeah, my student told me that, and like I was really nervous about fighting you because I thought you would have all this experience and blah blah blah. And it was a really great match, I really enjoyed it, blah blah blah. And I was like, that's like, because I was terrified of facing him because I knew who he was through his achievements in jiu-jitsu. But he didn't know anything about my level or achievements in jiu-jitsu. It was just from preconceived notions from social media or from other people telling him about me that I may have been better than I was. And for me, I was like, oh, so everyone feels this way. So it's not just me that feels this way about everyone else. You could be feeling that way about me, or anyone could be feeling that way about anybody. So then that just gives you more motivation to just go for it and to go harder and to think that, yes, we can go and do it. And here is the last picture on my card before my camera died the following morning in Amsterdam. This is a cafe across the road from Vice HQ, and it is owned and ran by an Irish woman, and Irish people work there. They all speak Dutch, and she's an absolutely amazing woman, and I completely forget her name. But I really enjoyed the conversation, and I wanted to take more photos in her shop, and that is why I have now started to bring my camera with me to these places and to start like maybe documenting little things along the way of stories that we might find or people that we might find. And she made us a lovely acai bowl, an absolute legend, and we'll be there to see her next year at the competition again. So, and this is just going to be a video that's going to be posted with a nice little URL. I'm away to Dublin. I'm on the radio from 4 till 6, 8 Radio, back on FM, Dublin, Cork, Limerick, Galway. 8radio.com for more details. Good luck. Hopefully talk to you soon.